Do this. Come on. Okay. So say welcome to the show.
Welcome to the show.
Everybody, thank you for watching.
Everybody, thank you for watching.
Tell them your name.
My name is Dylan.
And what do you want to say?
Hello, fellas.
All right. I love you. Go. I want to welcome everybody to the On the Mat podcast. This show is to highlight high school athletes and also give these young athletes a platform to tell their stories as they pursue their dreams in life. No matter what the dream is, remember, this is only the beginning. I'm your host, Coach Paul, and that handsome young fellow over there is my co-host, Jay. So today's guest is a six-time USA state placer, a one-time USA Freestyle State Open champion, a two-time USA State runner-up, two-time Cali Games state finalist, fifth at Southern Section CIF, and a Masters qualifier, 3-2 at Virginia Beach Nationals as a junior, only as a junior. Now, let's get into what she did as a senior. She placed second in CIF, second at Masters, placed eighth in state, and she was the RMN Freak Show National champion. She is from Cerritos High School in Cerritos, California. She is committed to Doane University. Welcome, Madeline Merideth, to the On the Mat podcast. Sheesh. Hey, I've read some intros, and some of these kids, like some of these boys got stats because they play football, right? But none of them have been this lengthy and this wordy, Madeline. Let me tell you right now, that is a very impressive intro and also very hard to do.
I forgot how much there was until you read it out, honestly.
That's right. That's dope.
Madeline, thank you for your time today. Thank you for your time today, Madeline. We're very blessed to have you on because you're our first female athlete and our first athlete that doesn't play football as well. So it'll be a great episode. Let's jump straight into it. Madeline, you've had a very successful high school career, but it wasn't an easy one. The journey wasn't easy whatsoever. Can you talk about the work that goes into that to being into the position that you're in right now?
Yes. So obviously, I go to like all my high school practices, but it's all the stuff I put in off the mat after school. So it kind of all started with a hill my dad made me run since I was a freshman. Eventually, he just ended up making me run that every day at some point. And I asked him one day, like, why are you making me do this? And then he was just like, well, you need a gas tank because honestly, you're not very strong right now. So it wasn't until we started finally lifting weights that I actually gained some strength, but he wanted me to like not gas out on the mat. And it meant like basically saying like, if you could run up this hill 6 times, you definitely can last 6 minutes in a match. So all of that plus working out like 6 to 7 times a week, even after school, like that's like, oh no, it was just a lot. It was just stacked.
6 to 7.
Yeah.
Jeez, Louise, that's amazing. That is amazing. 6 to 7. Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead and finish. My bad.
Well, that plus I went to a very, I want to say very prestigious wrestling club. I went to Premier Wrestling, and I was part of the Silmar team. And this is where like all the best girls come to basically bang each other up after school for 2 hours. Like this, our coach would actually have us like line up against the wall and just be like, okay, start swinging at each other's heads until you get tired. And that was practices over there.
Hey, talk about toughening up, man. Like, who's got to live out in the streets when you decide you want to be a wrestler? Like, I'm going to wrestle all day after school, and then let me go, like, you know what, I'm done. Let me go for another 2 hours and go get the shit beat out of me. And that sounds like a fun thing to do.
I mean, trust, it is fun. I know it doesn't sound that great when I say it out loud.
Yeah, right?
But the girls there are great, honestly. All of them have either, like, they've all qualified for great things. All of them have qualified for state at least once or twice, I think. For example, we have Olivia Davis in the room. She took first at state this year.
Nice.
She's placed top 3 at Fargo. She's like, yeah, we have big names in there. And I'm just like glad and thankful that I get to like meet all these people and I get to like interact with them almost on the daily.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'd say they were like a big stepping stone in like my progress as a wrestler. Because honestly, before I went to that club too, like I probably looked like a baby giraffe wrestling.
It's all right. Before I grew into a pair of pads, I probably looked like a goofball. It's okay. Like, hey, some of the best athletes, it takes a little bit to get going, and then once they get going, it's the sky's the limit. Hey, so Jay's got another guy. So I'm not even lying. Jay stole my question. So when I looked
Yeah,
lost about 5 minutes ago, I was like, hey, bro, and he's like, I took your question, so that's why. I was like, oh, okay.
yeah. It was
Hey,
supposed to be Coach Paul Arena, but it's all good. So
it's all
I'll
good.
just read
So
my
Jay,
next
go ahead and
question.
get your question.
So now my actual next question is, when you look at all the accolades that Coach Paul mentioned in your intro, which one of those accomplishments means the most to you and why?
Well, the ones he mentioned in the intro, there's actually two I'm most proud of. They're a little hard to choose between, but I guess it's
Hmm.
either a mix up between getting on the podium at state or winning Freak Show. And I'm saying this because they're both at vastly different times in the season. Freak Show happens preseason, but Freak Show is just
Okay.
one of those tournaments that honestly, like, if you place, you're considered like one of the most, like, how do I say it? Like one of the most decorated people nationally. I beat some
Okay.
girls that were nationally ranked, and I
Okay.
didn't realize that till after I won the tournament. And I was lucky enough to be in two brackets in that tournament. So
Yeah.
I was top 8 in the regular bracket, which was stacked, and I
Okay.
won the elite bracket. But I say I'm also pretty proud of getting on the podium at state because that's something most athletes chase all 4 years of high school, and I was just
Yeah.
lucky enough to actually have it happen to me.
Hey, so you mentioned that Freak Show's preseason. Like, I'll get to it later on. Like, I have like a question asking you about, like, is there really time off? But like you say preseason, wrestling's like year round. So is it really preseason, Madeline? It's like you guys.
Eh, it's not
Yeah.
CIF season.
Okay, I'll take that. I'll take that. I'll take that. I'll take that. Hey, so we've been talking about your success, right? You've had some great matches this year. I know because I get all the YouTube links from your dad. Man, I can't get enough of it. It's legit. Like, I'm not really a big wrestling fan, but I watch your matches. Hey, so you had an overall record of 38-8. Out of those 8
Nice.
losses this year, who would you say was your toughest loss? Like, which one did it was just like, no matter what you did, they had a counter for it, and it just, you weren't going to beat them that day.
Mm. Well, let's see. Out of my 8 matches, I'd say like probably mentally my toughest loss was probably to Savannah Talmadge, and that
Okay.
was my match at quarters in state. I say this was my toughest loss because even though like I felt really prepared for this match, I just felt like my feet were stuck in the mud for the first 2 periods, and
Mm-hmm.
I just was not wrestling to my full capabilities. So after I got off and after I lost that, I was knocked into blood rounds, and I kind of just had to use that as like a wake me up, like, hey, it's either like one or done, or like I
Yeah.
just gotta like put that all out like next match tomorrow, man. So
Yeah.
that match was definitely one of my toughest ones. That was probably one of the most eye-opening ones too. And
Okay.
it's a little odd for it to happen that late in the season, but it had to happen. So
Got you.
And what did you learn from that match? What did you change, if you changed anything at all, from your routine?
I just had to learn how to stop questioning myself. That was something I struggled
Mm,
with my entire high
mm.
school career. Every time I had lost, every time I had done something that didn't look quite Maddie, it
Got you.
was because I
Yeah.
was thinking too much. And I had to like learn how to just shut off my brain and wrestle.
Hey, so now that you, like you mentioned that, this is totally off the cusp. So this is our conversation piece part. So like, does it feel like you're thinking, like when you're lining up, you're sizing up your opponent and like you shoot, like it's so second nature? Are you thinking, or is it just like, what is it, muscle memory? Like, are you on auto?
I mean, my really good matches, I want to say I'm pretty much just on autopilot, honestly.
Okay.
But like, I'm pretty sure like you've seen it since you've probably seen all my videos.
Yeah,
When
yeah,
I
yeah.
don't when I don't look right, I can tell that like I'm thinking a little too much because I'm like, oh, I'm moving slower. I don't like this looks really lackluster. This feels really lackluster.
Okay, I get it. Yep.
Yeah, Diego Montes, that's our guest that I think of when me and Coach Paul we had a quarterback on and we're talking about not playing your game and overthinking and stuff. And I just bring this up to say that like and I've said this multiple times over the show that once you overthink, regardless of sport, wrestling, football, soccer, baseball, anything, that's when usually the bumps happen. So that's why you just got to be in my opinion, a flow state as long as you can be. So
Yeah.
kind of staying on the topic of tough losses. We all have matches, games that got away that we were so close.
Yep.
Do you have one of those games or one of those matches rather?
Yeah, I'd want to say that match happened uh probably at Queen of the Hill. That's a
Okay.
tournament that's considered one of those like grinder tournaments. Basically, if the saying goes, if you place at Queen of the Hill, you're gonna place at state. And
Okay.
this is when I was wrestling up a weight class. I was 135 at Queen of the Hill, and
Okay.
this was also in quarterfinals. And I had lost to this girl who I met when I first started wrestling, but she's a lot younger than me. She was a really good freshman, and I lost to
Yeah.
her by 1 point. And
Ooh.
like I didn't expect, honestly, I probably underestimated her. She's
Okay.
honestly like she's gonna go on to do great things. She
Yeah.
qualified for state this year at 135, and I could just see that like she's gonna definitely like be one of those top girls in the next couple years.
I commend you because you could have easily said what I said, and you were just like you were giving her kudos. And I want to shout out, like, I don't know how much people are into Women's Month, but women empowering women, no matter how they feel they should have done, that is something dope to see, young lady, and you should be very proud of yourself.
Thank you.
Hey, you're welcome. So it's very clear in your weight class, there are some pretty dominant females. Which female this year really impressed you with their dominance on the mat?
Ooh, good question.
Okay, this is probably gonna be an odd answer, but this girl I actually didn't wrestle at all this season. But
Okay.
she's also one of my very close friends. I had wrestled her originally at Cali Games, and I'd beaten her twice, like a couple years
Okay.
ago. This girl is Ruby Julie Newsom. She took second at state this year. She was ranked number 2 the entire year, and I was just honestly so proud to see like her growth in like the
Nice.
past 2 years. The like lengths this girl grew was unbelievable. You could just tell that she was just having fun and that she just loved to see what
Nice.
she like just loved to see that she loved what she was doing.
Yeah.
And honestly, like I couldn't be like more happy just for like my friend and just because like I know she wanted this too. Like
Yeah. Hey, so that's one thing that I do know, that no matter what gender you are, that the love of the sport will bring that bond between you and whoever, no matter what gender they are, closer together. And honestly, you girls get down, man. Like when I was in high school, we had a female wrestler who like ended up being a Marine. Her name was Melissa, but I don't remember her last name. But man, you girls that get on that matter, you guys are some badasses, bro. Like, young lady, I'm sorry. Like, you are some badasses, straight out. Real talk. Hey, so I know it's not an easy road to the top, but you found yourself on the cusp of winning it all at Masters, and boom, you have an injury. Can you talk about how you dealt with that adversity, and were you able to get mentally and physically prepared for state?
so the injury actually was something I was dealing with all of season. I had injured myself in another preseason tournament in Iowa where I had gotten chin whipped in the match. And
Ooh.
for like the first couple weeks of season, I sat out to help my foot heal. And
Okay.
I was just dealing with it until I say early January. My teammate did something kind of unexpected in practice, and I re-injured it. So at
Ooh.
Masters, I felt it like tweaking on me right before finals, and
Okay.
I kind of just thought to myself, okay, it's Samantha. I've practiced with her at different clubs before, and
Yeah.
am I just gonna risk like hurting my foot again and not going to state, or am I
Yeah.
gonna just save like this match if I have to see her again,
Yeah.
like at state? Like I think I would have rather saw her at state. So I just decided to just forfeit out of that match and just let myself recover and let myself just get mentally prepared for state and just that hey,
Nice.
give it your all if you have to see Sam again. But
Yep. So for everybody that doesn't know who Samantha Sachs is, she is the young lady that took state this year in the 130 pounds, correct?
yes.
Okay. So that's who Madeline is referring to. So now that we know who she is, go ahead, Jay.
Speaking of the Masters, how epic do you think that matchup would have been between you and Samantha?
Hell yeah, that's what I want to know.
Well, me and her have definitely seen each other for the past couple of years. We've never had a match at all throughout our high school
Okay.
careers, but
Okay.
we've definitely seen each other at different clubs. We've trained in the same room. We've been practice partners. And
Ooh.
I would like to say that it does get kind of riley. It does get kind of physical when we do have to see each other in rooms. But
Nice.
I mean, outside of that, she's really like an like amazing girl. Like she's an Iowa signed. She is a Fargo national champ. She is a state champion. She was state runner up last year, and she's also just another girl who's like really confident in themselves all the time. So outside of
Yeah.
like wrestling her, how the match would have went, I really don't know because we didn't wrestle. But
Okay.
I would like to think that the energy in the gym probably would have been a lot because, well, it's Sam. And then you
Yeah.
have me, who was kind of a nobody until Masters.
Hey, but you are somebody. That's all that matters. At that point in time, that match, hey, Jay, that match would have been fire. I don't care who would have won, who would have lost. That match would have been fire. I didn't know who Samantha Sachs was. I know who Madeline Merideth is. So then when I saw, like, I learned about what happened. I went and looked up Samantha Sachs. It would have been fire. That would have been a great match. Hey, you got hurt. It happens. But let me tell you something. Don't sell yourself short. I don't like. She's a tremendous athlete, but that would have been a fire ass match, and I think you could have pulled it off. I think you would. I think you could have. A healthy Madeline. That's a hell of a match, and I think you win.
Thank you a lot.
No, you're very welcome.
Yeah, a great confidence booster. This is a little bit random. How good is Iowa's wrestling program? Because I can imagine like these schools in the Midwest, like they just breed wrestling
That is
programs,
a
like
great
a
question, Jay.
Wisconsin, Nebraska, these type of schools, you know? Do you know how good they are?
Well, right now, the girls lineup at Iowa includes big names such as Kennedy Blades, the Gonzalez twins, and next year you're going to have like two state champions joining the roster. We have Isabella Marie Gonzalez going over
Nice.
there, and you have Samantha Sachs going over there. So Iowa right now is one of the most stacked teams in girls wrestling.
I'd figure.
That
I'd
is
figure.
so dope.
Iowa that just screams wrestling school. I don't know
Bruh.
why. Maybe because of the way they play football. So I had the idea that only like tough-nosed, hard-nosed people go there. So maybe that's why.
Straight out. Hey, I'm telling your dad, if when he goes to fly out there, just let me know. If I can get out there with him, I'ma go. Cause Iowa wrestling, Nebraska, dude, it's life.
I mean, they probably have nothing else to do out there, so.
True. That's also true as well.
Yeah.
Madeline, you've had a bit of a difficult journey than most. You've had to move four schools in 4 years. Can you talk about how it was having to adjust every new school year and having to start over essentially every new school year?
Damn, that's rough.
Well, this is gonna be like a tricky question to answer because transferring 4 times in 4 school years sounds like a lot to people, but honestly, I kind of did it during the beginning of every school year, so it just felt like going to the next grade level sometimes. You don't see the same people in every class. But
Okay.
essentially, after like one or two times, it just felt nice getting like a clean start. Like
Yeah.
you just felt like a lot less stress on your shoulders, and like, well, nobody knows you there. You don't have to worry about anything.
Yeah. That's
Yeah, I kind of want you to focus more on not necessarily Madeline, the athlete, kind of just the person. Like, how did you deal with meeting new people, having to make new friends, stuff like that, just social stuff, because at the end of the day, you are a teenager and it is high school, so.
great question.
Well, I mean, like the social stuff, I've always been kind of an introvert, not gonna lie.
Okay.
Okay.
But I mean, naturally, especially like this year and maybe a little bit of last year, people just started gravitating towards me. I don't know if it was just maybe I just seemed welcoming or something, but I I guess I'm kind of like easy to talk to at times. So making new friends was never really an issue or anything. I mean, I have social media platforms. I was able to keep in touch with people from my old schools. And honestly, it was just, I don't know, just when you start a conversation with somebody, it's easy to just
Yeah.
keep it going.
Hey, that leads me to this like totally random question. Like, do you think that's really like that helped prepare you for your next part in life? Because you're about to go to a whole different state. Like, you may know some people, but let's be honest, it's not family, it's not your huge, and it's halfway across the country. Like, it's dab in the middle. Like, do you think that prepared you?
Um, Honestly, we'll see because I'm not there yet.
Hey, there we go. I'll take it.
But I'm hoping that it'll be a little less awkward in the transition to college because
Yeah.
I know that it's going to be an entirely different culture out there.
Yeah.
And I'm just mentally preparing myself for whoever's out there in the Midwest. So,
Yeah. I get you. So I know this is life like right now, like you're getting ready for the next chapter, but let's take it back to the beginning. Like, can you talk about how you got into wrestling and like what made you fall in love with it?
well, okay, there's multiple parts to this. So,
Okay.
from what I can remember, I joined wrestling briefly for a year when I was in the fourth grade, and I didn't really understand what I was doing, so I didn't like it that much.
Okay.
And my parents just let me kind of quit for a little bit. But then
Yeah.
a little bit into my freshman year, I kind of thought, well, I kind of want to play a sport, but I mean, I don't have the best when it comes to vision. As you can see, I'm
Okay.
wearing glasses right now. I have astigmatism in my right eye, and I wouldn't be doing good with ball sports. So I was
Right.
thinking, what individual sports are there? And one day I saw the wrestling coach walk through school, and he was wearing a Beat the Streets shirt, and I remembered Beat the Streets from when I was in elementary school, and I did wrestling for that year. So I talked to
Hmm.
him for a little bit, then I talked to my dad, and everyone in my family had wrestled already, so this was something I was familiar with. My dad was um, three-time CIF qualifier. He had placed at very prestigious tournaments when he was in high school. One day he just showed me a box of all of his medals, and I was just amazed at like what everything he'd done. Outside of him, we've had other state placers in my family. So wrestling is like a big central point. Like one of my first outings when I was a baby, my dad tells me the story all the time. Like I had went to go watch state when I was like maybe like a year or two old. And one of the first things I saw was blood rounds at state. And one thing I just
Yeah.
remember from that foggy memory is that everyone just walks off crying. And I don't know why, but I guess I must have looked at that and been like, this is awesome. So,
Oh, nice.
yeah, that's what got me to join wrestling.
Wow, that's cool. That's a sweet story.
Yeah, that is. Everyone has their own story. Coach Paul, he brought up about how you're gonna have to adjust to a new environment. You're committed to Doan. Did I pronounce it right? Doan?
Down, yeah.
Okay. Down? Okay. I'm gonna just say Doan, sorry.
It is
You're
dope.
committed to Doan University. Can you tell us about what you have going on right now? What does the off season look like? Like Coach Paul said, if you even can call it an off season, because wrestlers are it's year round for wrestling. Can you tell us what you have going on right now?
Well, I guess the biggest thing is that I'm transitioning from whole wrestling styles. So high school wrestling is folk style, but internationally and in women's college, it's gonna all be freestyle. So think
Okay.
Olympic wrestling. This is where you're
Okay.
gonna see all those big throws and all that like cool, videotape stuff.
Okay.
And
Okay.
for
Okay.
folk style was kind of boring. I mean, honestly, I look at folk style now and I just think about how slow it is, honestly.
Okay.
But I'm transitioning from folk style to freestyle right now, and that's going to be the style I'm going to be doing in college. So right now we're preparing for World Team Trials. That's next weekend. And I'm going
Okay.
up there with my club, and I'm going to be wrestling in the U20 division. And World Team Trials is essentially the same as if you place, you're basically up there with Olympians. So
Okay.
that's one big thing I'm preparing for. Then after that, like another big tournament that we're going to is probably the US Open in Las Vegas, which
Okay.
is one that only state placers, I believe, are able to even register for.
Okay.
So that one's definitely going to be a grinder. But from
Yeah.
there on out, I'm probably only going to be doing freestyle. I don't see why there would be a reason to do folk from now on.
Okay. Before I get to my last question, this is more of like a aspiration or a dream question that I like. I'm a dreamer. Like I dream big. I've always have, even at your age. Do you see yourself? I see USA in a lot of the things that I read earlier, and well, do you see yourself trying to go for the Olympic team?
Well, the
Great
next
question.
Olympics is going to be in 4 years, obviously. So that if I like start now, that gives me, like 3 to 4 years to prepare.
Okay.
So let's see, they're going to be ran in Los Angeles, which is really close to home. So that's something exciting. So that's definitely something I might like want to try like qualify for
Let's
because it would be
go.
really epic wrestling in the Olympics in LA. Like that's where I grew up.
Let's go. Hell yeah. Hey, if you decide to do it in the next 3 to 4 years, we support you to the fullest,
100%.
100%. You could do it. You can do it. If anybody could do it, you could do it. So before we let you go, I'm going to wrap up with this. If you could give any underclassman or any little girl that is looking at you right now and needs any advice on what to do or just how to navigate it, what's the best piece of advice you would give them or underclassmen that are trying to follow in your footsteps?
I would just say, don't listen to anybody that doesn't have your best interests. I spent too much time worrying about other people's opinions about me. And honestly, just stick to what your gut says. And honestly, don't think and just do it, honestly. Like I said, when I like was stuck in my thoughts too much, I didn't wrestle to my
Yeah.
fullest potential. And that was honestly mostly because I was listening to too many people that shouldn't have mattered. So think positive, think light, and just have fun.
I love it. I love it. I love it.
Great answers.
Madeline, we thank you for spending the last 25 to 30 minutes with us. You've been a true blessing to us both. Good luck on your future endeavors. I'll be watching. I'll be supporting. I'll be rooting. Jay, you got a new fan in Jay, right?
Yes, sir.
Hey, to all our viewers and subscribers, thank you for watching. If you're new to the show, please hit like. Feel free to comment. Don't forget to subscribe. Shout out to our sponsor, Never Waivers Apparel. I'm your host, Coach Paul. That handsome young fellow over there is my co-host, Jay. And our beautiful guest tonight was Madeline Merideth. Thank you for your time, everybody. Peace.
Peace.